Hello and welcome to our English program for the week. This is going to be the second part of the life of Musa al-Kazim, the sadistic, psychotic killer. We're going to look at his life and see what is going on. Let me start with sending the link in Telegram for all those who want to watch it in English so that I can also have an opportunity to bring it up on my own cell phone and watch it live with you on my cell phone through YouTube, by the way, so that we can fix any problems that arise. And then I have something special to show you at the end. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, let's begin. Let me go into share, bring up what we want to show you. I do have to apologize about last week. Part of the files that were supposed to be in this file got mixed up in a different file. And so we lost the part that was about his own childhood. And we started with the part about his children. But I found that part in whichever file it was mixed in, and I brought it and I attached it to this file so that it'll all be together in one. So we have to go back a little bit and look at his childhood first and then go back to his own children. So we start with, it's the same guy, you see, same links, same everything, okay? We start with the blessed baby. You know, he was a blessed baby when he was born. You know, it was blessings that God gave him, his God, not our God. Our God is the real God. His God is Allah, the book, you know, the little statue. The world shone in the blessing of the baby, like whom none was born at this time. Okay. In order for that to be true, historians would have had to have it recorded that on one specific day, because I mean, he was born in one day, right? He wasn't born in like a month time. It didn't take a month for him to come out. Like his nose came out on day one, his chin came out on day two, his forehead showed up in day three, his cheeks showed up in day four. I mean, that's not how it came out, right? He was born like everybody else. His mother went, and he went poof, right out, right? So in that case, there has to be one day which all historians around the world, even the native Indians who are out here, you know, like I'm not talking about the Indians that are back in Asia. I'm talking about the Indians from here, you know, the ones in the cowboy Indian movies that go, with the, you know, those Indians, the native Indians. I have to say this so that even those who speak English but are not from America, that don't understand what a native Indian really is, they might think I'm talking native from India instead of native from North America. Even they would have seen it in a movie here and there, and I would have now understood what I'm talking about. Like the actual descendants of North America before white man came here, right? According to modern history, only white man came here. They forgot Africans came here. They forgot that the Vikings were here. They forgot the Iranians made it here. They forgot the Arabs made it here. They forgot everybody made it here before the white guy came here. But apparently only the white guy counts because, you know, he's the evil one. So, you know, they have to make it about the white guy being here first. You know, he was the only evil. Everybody else who came here and did something, they weren't evil. He was just the white guy. So according to that history of before the white guy came here, the descendants who were here, the native, and that's who we're talking about, okay? We're not talking about India from India, the native Indian of India. We're not talking about that guy, okay? Get it straight, people. So even that native Indian of over here would have had to record it. You know, they record different. They don't have a book. They recorded it in pictures, in telling each other, you know, story. They would have had to tell you that there was one day when this kid was born in the middle of Saudi Arabia, which at that time was just Arabia, and because he was born on that day, all kind of bounties fell on their heads, like little rocks coming down. It just came down, right? Everybody has to write about it. The Chinese have to write about it. Yes, the Indians in India, finally, you guys keep wanting the Indians in India. Yes, those guys too, they had to write about it. Byzantine had to write about it. The Roman had to write about it. The Africans had to write about it. Everybody had to write about it. Even the native Indians of Australia had to write about it. Everybody had to write about it. That on this same day, all of this happened. Okay? Now, you'll never find that anywhere in history that everybody, you won't even find one person writing, let alone everybody else. Okay? If you do find a person writing about it, it's probably a Shia Muslim who wants to fabricate a story about his imam that's writing this garbage. Like this guy who just wrote this. Other than that, you don't find anything. Because even the Sunni Arabs don't care to write anything about this guy because they don't believe in the guy. So there you go. Even amongst the Muslims, they don't even believe in the story. It's a far-fetched story even for the Muslims. Anyway, none was born at his time and was greater than him in bless. I mean, the blessings were just so great when it came with him, Like when he was born, let me give you an example of his blessings. When he was born, all the poor people that were within his vicinity became super rich. They didn't need to sleep on the streets no more. They all had homes, mansions. Forget the homes. There were mansions. I mean, each home had like 300 beds in it. Donald Trump with your Mar-a-Lago, eat your heart out. I mean, this guy, the poor people had like 300 bed mansions. Come on, man. This guy, he had everything. Mar-a-Lago only has 100 beds. This guy, come on. He was the boy of blessings. Come on now. Yeah, by the way, we're talking about when he was an infant. He was just born. I mean, he was only a couple of seconds old. You couldn't even tell him he was a couple hours. He was just a couple seconds. Okay? Benefits. He gave you benefits. I mean, there were benefits, You got benefits from this guy. Favors. He gave you favors towards Islam. You just come and say, in the way of Islam, help me. And then the guy with, this little few second old infant would just do everything, He would feed your horse water. I mean, infants back then, infants had a lot of power, Forget about infants today. He was born and his birthday. Look. You see how they put it into the paragraph here? The brackets. This paragraph has the brackets. They open the sentence and they put the brackets in this paragraph. Look. You see the brackets? I'll highlight it for you. Okay? Let me highlight it. You see that? You got a whole paragraph here. And then inside of this paragraph, you have these brackets that they open. Right? And why they open it? They opened it at the beginning to talk about when he was born. Right? So they're talking about his birthday. What is important here? Birthday, as you can see me highlight. The birthday. Why is the birthday important here? Because the retard that wrote this, instead of saying birthday, he meant day of birth. But because English is his second language and these retards don't understand what they're trying to tell you, he wrote it as birthday. And the reason why he said that to you is because in Persian, both for saying birthday and day of birth, you would start with saying the day part first. Ruze Tavallud, Ruze Zod. Ruze Tavallud literally means birthday. Ruz is the day portion, and Tavallud would be the birth. So it would be birthday. Ruze Zod would be the day of birth, again, in Persian, we say the sentences backwards to how you would say it in English. Like if I was to say running man in Persian, it would sound backwards. It would literally be like me saying man running. But it would make sense in Persian. But in English, that wouldn't make sense. So you would reformat it to how it would make sense in English, which would be running man. So the retard that wrote this didn't know the English language and literally translated the words. So here he means day of birth, okay? Now, day of birth indicated, pay good attention, people, indicated that he would be the most pious of the people, the kindest of them to the poor, the greatest of them in tiredness and ordeals for Allah, the greatest of them in worship and fear of Allah. I've highlighted it for you. With this paragraph, this retard who wrote this, who, as I've shown you in the past, has connections to the biggest of the biggest names of current leaders of the Shia Islam movement. You don't get any bigger. You know, Ali Khamenei, the cockroach, is behind this guy. That guy is the spiritual leader of Islam in Iran. He has the backing of Sistani and Sistani's professor, Hui from Rome. He quotes the biggest names of the last centuries in Shia Islam. The ones that they call Sheikh of Sheikh from several hundred years ago, he quotes. The big guys and the big shots are his backers, the guy who wrote this book. And in this paragraph that I've highlighted for you, he pretty much took a gun, shot his own feet, if his feet are Shia Islam, and then he took the gun and he shot his own head, being Islam itself, completely. Destroyed and dismantled all of Islam with just this paragraph. And he doesn't even know what he did. But I'm going to open it for you. I'm going to show you how he dismantled the whole of Islam. One shot. One paragraph. That's all it takes. By writing that his day of birth indicated that he would be this, that means Islam now agrees unanimously with the deen of Hinduism on the basis that the day you are born on determines who you will be. Meaning, you as an individual, you do not have power over your own affairs in life. You are not there to say or do what you feel. Rather, you do and say only what is predetermined for you. Meaning, you are like an actor in a movie, an actress in a movie, a robot that has been programmed to do a certain task. The actor or actress has a script, reads off the script, memorizes the script, and in front of the camera says what was on the script. Robot is programmed to do a certain task, has no choice in the matter. The actress, when given a script, has to follow that script. The actress doesn't have the power to say, excuse me, I didn't like this part. I think I'm going to change that and I'm going to put something else. No, if it's written in that part, the actress is going to die. The actress is going to die. That's it. They have no say. They got to follow it. Here, exactly like in Hinduism, when you want to marry somebody in Hinduism, you've got to go see the astrologer. And he's going to sit down and look at you guys and start putting the dates together, put your names together, count the numerical numbers for your names and the dates and your zodiac sign and their zodiac sign, and put it all together, where and which moon and planet is going through at that time in your months, and put all of that together, calculate and formulate a potionic theory, tell you if you're right to marry each other. There's no feelings in Hinduism for marriage. There's no love. Then if you want to have kids, go see the astrologer. He's going to sit down, that astrologist, and he's going to look at everything. He'll tell you which night to go and do the boom boom, so that in 9 months you'll have a child. And then your child will turn into Buddha. He was born on a specific day. That's how Buddhism came out. Child who was born on a certain day. So then his parents, who were Hindu, by the way, were told that this kid is going to be a big miracle. He's going to do a lot of things. He's pious. Same thing they wrote here about Buddha is what they wrote about Musa al-Kazim. Same thing. Musa al-Kazim is Buddha. Buddha is Musa al-Kazim. Reincarnation of the same idiot. Now someone's going to come and say, no, he offended us. He called our religion idiot. Well, I mean, if the shoe fits, they wrote the same stuff. It's the same thing that the both of them wrote. Word for word. It was a child that was born in Hinduism. And they said he's going to be the savior, blah, 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 yada, 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 da, 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 da. He turned into Buddha, and then his own people disowned him, who were the Hindus, because he's Indian. And then a whole bunch of people in Far East Asia made him a god, turned him into gold, and he went from being an Indian from India to becoming a Chinaman who's gold in color and bigger than the sumo wrestler. And why I say Chinaman? Because back then, thousands of years ago, there was only China and Mongolia. And who's closer to the Indian? China. How did everything get everywhere else? Through China. Where did China got all its information thousands and thousands of years ago, when they weren't even a proper nation and they were fighting each other and bashing each other in the head? From India. Martial arts came out of India into China. Tea came out of India into China. Religion came out of India into China. Even all the way down to Indonesia, everything comes from India. India, 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 India. You go to Bali today, there's still Hindus in there. Where did the Hindu come from? India. Where did Buddhism come out of? Well, look at the history of it. India. So you got an Indian man following astrology, became Buddha. You got another Indian man following astrology, became Musa al-Kazim. Same religion, no difference. Same thing. It's just today, the wokeism and the globalists will tell you Buddhism sounds nice and Islam sounds bad. Why? Because Islam is its harsher twin. It's like having two dogs. One you trained to be a good security guard dog as a German Shepherd, and then the other one, you trained it to be a service dog. It's still a German Shepherd. They have the same capabilities. It's just you kept one nice and you told the other one use its full potential to be harsh. Same dog, no difference. Same words, no difference. Based on the day he's born, he is going to be the most pious. Based on the day he's born, he's going to be the most kindest to the poor. Based on the day he's born, he's going to be the greatest of them all and not being tired and going through the ordeals that he has to go through for his statue God Allah. Based on the day that he's born, he's going to be the best in worship and fearing the statue God Allah. Based on the day he's born. So Islam is now just hocus pocus, magical potions. Just like Hinduism, just like Buddhism. No difference. Who said this? Hujjatul Islam, Bagher, Sharif, Al-Quraishi. This retard over here. This guy that looks like a turtle, this guy said it. Okay. Abu Abdullah, you know, they always have to put the kid's name. He's Abu. Abu is the father. Abad is short form for Abdullah. Abdul is the slave, and that's Allah. You know, Abu Abdullah. And then they put for you in paragraph Sadiq. You remember the Sadiq? Jafar al-Sadiq, the stripper. We covered him before Musa al-Kazim. Remember? 16, 17 parts. I don't know how many parts we gave him. Indicated that he would be, he Musa al-Kazim, would be the most pious of the people, the kindest of them to the poor, the greatest of the blah, 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 right? Jafar al-Sadiq hurried and received his baby. Now, what was Jafar al-Sadiq doing before he went to find this guy on his birthday, indicated to be the most pious and the most this? What was he doing? Jafar al-Sadiq was sitting there eating with a group of people. I mean, when these guys eat, they discuss, when they're eating, they don't discuss about their human body with the terminology that we would use for humans. You know, like today, in the Far East, Southeast, not the Far East, sorry, Far East, you know, they use sticks. But in the Southeast, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and in the Arab world, you know, on the other side of Iran, all these Arab countries, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi, Jordan, and all the other garbage countries that are there. And they are garbage. I mean, there's nothing in them. You go there, the guy will literally take his, you know, they wear the Arab dress. He'll lift his Arab dress, and as he walks, he'll defecate on the ground. He'll urinate on somebody's wall. They throw garbage on the ground like it's nothing. On the ground. I mean, there's a garbage bin right there, and the guy will still throw it on the ground. You go in a lineup, there is no lineup. Everyone's pushing, it's like a Royal Rumble. You're pushing each other to get to the front. Go to Saudi Arabia and try to buy bread. Go to the bread store, because it's not like here. You don't go to a supermarket. You go to the bread store to buy bread. Go to the bread store in Saudi Arabia. Everyone's tearing each other apart to get to the front. The concept of standing in a line like normal human being, nah, hasn't reached it. Everybody lies. Everybody is smoking. Everybody is gay, and everybody says they're not gay. Everyone's in the closet. All of them. Maybe you find 1% of the population that. Everybody else is. Garbage. Total garbage. I mean, you go there, even the air stinks. Everything stinks. And they're not one better than the other. They're all the same. They're all the same garbage. Every one of them. I mean, you go there in Saudi Arabia, everyone's wearing a mask. This is pre-COVID area. For the last 50, 60 days, everybody wearing a mask. Everybody's sick. Hygiene, forget hygiene. I mean, it's the filthiest places you can go. And then people are sleeping on the garbage. Go for Hajj, you'll see. Go for Hajj. You have to walk from Mina to here to there. Go see. Garbage everywhere. You go to their sewers that the Americans created sewer system for them. Go in the sewers, you find the Quran. Their holy book is inside the sewer with all the feces and filth and cockroach and everything that survives in the sewer is on their book. That's a big case for them. They have to tell people, please do not throw the Quran inside the toilet and flush it. I mean, it's clogging up all of our pipes. Everything's clogged with the Quran. This is inside the Islamic country, by the way. I'm not talking about Sweden. This is Saudi Arabia. Okay? Pipes are clogged because the Quran is in there. Who threw it in there? The Muslim threw it in there. Not just one guy, not just two guys. All of it. All of it. Everyone. It's garbage. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. If you go there and you see it, you'll understand. Garbage. Okay? Garbage countries. Remember when Donald Trump was talking about the shithole countries? This is what he was talking about. He just miscalculated the name of the country that he meant. He meant these ones, okay? Like garbage, like completely garbage. From head to toe and back, garbage. Okay, complete. Anyway, back to the program. Back to the program before the time goes out. Ja'far al-Sadiq was sitting there and eating. When they talk about their hands, they talk about their hands as if their hands are paws. Okay, they say panje. Panje is what you use for animals. Like if you had a cat, or if you had a dog, or if you had a lion, or you had a bear, they have paws, not hoofs, paws, okay? So when they eat like this, like they dig into their food to eat, like they've never seen food in their life. They also have never heard of utensils. Like in Iran, we use spoons and forks and knives. In the West, you use spoons and forks and knives. In Far East Asia, you use chopsticks. These guys, they never heard of these things. Their prophet ate with his hand, so they all have to eat with their hand. They just go in like this. Big chunks. They're just bigger than their mouth can fit. So Ja'far al-Sadiq was eating. And they kept telling him, man, your wife is about to give birth. Go hold the hand, do something, say something, calm her down. No. He preferred she die, and then the kid pops out because he's feeding, he's eating, So he's there eating. And finally the baby pops out. So now he has to hurry. See, it says hurry. Hurry to it. Oh, if you don't believe me, the book is there. If you don't believe what I'm saying, go open I had to shorten the book for you, or else we'll be here forever. He ran now. Oh, I gotta go get the baby. Okay, he ran to get the baby. He performed for him in his religious ceremonies of birth which is, you know, you go in the right ear and you say the other. You go in the left ear and you say the other. In reality, the only reason why they're doing that is because it was an excuse back in the day for them to suck the person's ear, and you know, that little baby ear, nice and virgin ear. It's a virgin ear, man. Come on. Don't you like it? I mean, they all liked it. This is a family of pedophiles. That was their tradition. So anyway, he's there sucking the ear, pretending he's doing some agama, blah, 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 blah. The first picture Musa saw, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, people of all ages, 1,400 years ago, they had cameras, they took pictures. What do you mean that this is a new creation? I mean, look, this guy was from 1,400 years ago, and he saw a picture. First picture. Look. First picture. Picture. Okay, he saw a picture. He didn't see a person. He saw a picture. Okay, a picture. First picture Musa saw was that of his father. I mean, his father ran to him. He didn't see his father. He saw a picture of his father. I mean, what kind of retard writes this? What kind of retard believes this? You know, when I say that Islam says that the first badge you get, like in military, you know, when the generals get this badge on their, you know, in Islam, you have the same thing. You know, there's a ranking system here. The first rank is for the people that don't know. They don't know anything. You know, they don't know anything. The second badge that you get for ranking is the ones that don't understand anything. You know, they're dumb and stupid. Like they don't get it. You know, you tell him and he still doesn't get it. You know, he was dumb at the beginning because he didn't know. And then he's also stupid because when you tell him, he still doesn't get it. Like it's like talking to the wall with the guy. He just never gets it. The next rank that they give themselves is donkey. Like the guy is really, you know, he's so thick-headed, you just can't get through to the guy. You got to have these. You can't use your brain. In Islam, you have to override your brain. Your brain has to be virgin, never used. You know, it's like when you buy a brand new car and they deliver the car for you so that there's no mileage on the car and you just have it sit in your driveway. You never use it. There's no mileage, brand new. The brain has to be like that, you know. The brain sits in your head, but you never use it. When it comes to religion, you never use it. If you use your brain, you can't be a Muslim no more. So you cannot use your brain. You know, you got to override it with whatever you're told. You just do what you're told. That's Islam. So right here, the guy who wrote this, he never used his brain. Because 1,400 years ago, there was no such thing as a camera or a picture. I mean, he saw his father, not picture. He saw the guy. They try explaining this to Muslims. And they don't get it. They don't get it. If they got it, they would all leave Islam when they saw this one part. But they don't get it. Unfortunately, they don't get it. It's just... The wall understands faster than the Muslim, unfortunately. Okay. That his father, like whom there was none under the sky in highness. Okay. I agree with that last portion. Okay. There was nobody like Jafar al-Sadiq. I mean, think about it. He looked like an owl. Now, Islamic Republic of Iran is going to cut, snip. Dr. Mossavat admitted there is nobody like Jafar al-Sadiq. They won't put the rest that, yes, that's because he looks like an owl. I mean, you all saw, we talked about his description. Twiny in color like an owl, the weird shape he has, no hair from his forehead to the center of his head. The only hair he has is from the back of the head, like right here down, you know. From here to here, no hair. Bald, like Dr. Mossavat. But I actually shave my head, okay? I have hair. This guy, on the other hand, didn't have hair. I mean, the only hair he had from when he was a kid was from the back of his head. He was trying to look like Asian, you know, like those old Asian Chinese movies where the kid is studying martial arts. He's bald from the center of his head forward. And then he has like some hair that he's got in a ponytail tied to the back, and then he shaves under it to make it stylish. This guy didn't even do that. He just had the hair going downwards, you know. He was a sight to see. When you saw it, you got like 6 heart attacks, one after another. And you were like about to leave Earth when you saw this guy. You know, you'd never forget it. Of course, this poor infant child, when he saw this thing sucking on his ear and whispering in his ear, and then he opened his eyes like this, looked to the side, and he sees this thing, and he's ah! The kid almost died seeing his father. That's why they say the picture. The first word he heard was monotheism, having the full meaning of faith. Ladies and gentlemen, you've never heard so much crap come out of somebody's mouth until you saw this writing. First and foremost, there was no monotheism told to Musa al-Kazim by his father. Because his father, most likely, the first thing he said was, ho ho! Because he was excited, you know, he's got a child. Second thing he probably said was, ha ha! He probably laughed. Third thing he probably said when he was sucking on the ear and he was calling the Adhan, and you can go and look up what are the first 2 words in the Adhan, and you're going to see it's going to say, Allahu Akbar. Akbar means bigger, not greatest. They falsify and lie to you. Okay? How you know this? Go look at names. Ali Akbar, Ali Asghar. Akbar the bigger, Asghar the smaller. So Allah Akbar literally means Allah the bigger, not the greatest. The word for greatest in Arabic is Azim. They don't say Allah Azim, they say Allah Akbar. So now I will show you, because you know, when you show and make things practical instead of theory and just read, some people understand practical better. I have for you here a remote control. A remote control. I have here for you a scissor. You see, it's a real scissor. This remote control is Akbar, and this scissor is Asghar. See? You put them beside each other, you see? The remote control is bigger. You see? When they say Allah Akbar, you can only use Akbar to say it's bigger when you are comparing 2 things to each other. I compare this remote control to this scissor. The remote control is Akbar, it's bigger. The scissor is Asghar, it's smaller. Neither one of them is Azim. Azim would be something else that's greater than them. So the first words he heard after ha ha ho ho was Allahu Akbar, meaning Allah, if it's their God, he's bigger than other gods, because they're comparing him to it. What they comparing him to? Shit? Was he comparing him to his feces? I mean, what do you compare your God to? You compare your God to another God. What do you compare your dog to? Another dog. You don't say, my dog, the German Shepherd, is better than the Bengal cat. What? No, you compare your dog, the German Shepherd, to a Great Dane. Yes, according to my dog runs more than the Great Dane. My dog eats more than the little Chihuahua. My dog does this, but you compare your dog to another dog. So when you're comparing your Allah, your God in Islam, your lah in reality, because God lah, you're comparing God lah to somebody. Who's that other body? Another God. So there is no monotheism here. Because monotheism means there is only one God. But here, right away, when you said Allahu Akbar, you meant there is more than one God. Because this one is bigger and the other one must be smaller. Or the other ones must be smaller. At the very least, there's two. So they lied again. Jafar al-Sadiq returned to his companions smiling. Okay. Remember this. He returned. He saw the boy, he sucked the ears of the boy, he did his pedophilia business, and then he's like, well, you guys can take care of it. Toss the baby and run back. He has to go back. He was eating, man. He was eating. You disturbed his eating. If he doesn't go back, they're going to finish the food and not nothing left. He has to go and finish it first. It's food. You know how important food is? Who cares about the kid? He has to go back and finish eating, man. That stomach. How do you think the stomach will turn like Buddha's stomach? You gotta. So he returned back to his companions smiling. One of them, who's them? His companions. Okay, one of them, one of the companions, asked, "My master." Oh, he's worshiping him. I thought your master is Allah. My master. Okay. May Allah make you glad. I mean, the guy's smiling. Yet this guy says, may Allah make you glad. He doesn't understand that Jafar al-Sadiq is smiling. Jafar the stripper, he's smiling. But this guy doesn't understand that the guy's smiling. And he's making a prayer for him to be glad so he can smile. There's a reason why he can't tell. There is one good reason. You know how when a dog sees a human he doesn't know, and that human is close by, and the barking doesn't work, what does the dog do next? He bares his teeth. Cats do the same. They go, you'll see in the old movies, the vampires will show their fangs as well. Satan worshippers sometimes to scare people when they're walking down the street, they'll go, show their fangs. Jafar al-Sadiq, when he was smiling, he was showing his teeth like. So when they saw him, they were all petrified. They thought something happened. You don't believe me? Watch what he says. And make us your ransom. They want to die on his behalf. What did Hamida done? What does Hamida do? Hamida was the wife, the so-called, FUCKING contract wife. So they all know he went to see Hamida. Now he's come back, grinning his teeth. So now they're all pissed. They're thinking something happened. We gotta do something. Something. He might take it out on us. They're ready to go to war. What did Hamida do? Let's pull up our sleeves, pick up the swords. Should we go kill this woman? What did she do? What did she do? I mean, Jafar al-Sadiq, what can you do? He was the town clown and the stripper who used to, strip for his father's penis to compete with his mother for the penis. Remember? We discussed about him. So now Jafar al-Sadiq has to tell these people, come down. I'm not mad. I'm showing my teeth like a wild animal, but I'm not mad. He gave them the blessing news, telling them of the great affair, saying, Allah has given a boy to me. He is the best of those Allah created. The best of those Allah created. Meaning, he's better than Muhammad, their prophet. He's better than Ali, he's better than Hassan, he's better than Hussein, he's better than Jafar, he's better than everybody. So don't let the Muslims lie to you when they say Muhammad was the best. Kata Muhammad, the prophet of Islam, was the best. There was nobody better than him. No. Forget all that garbage. Musa al-Kazim was the best. I mean, Allah never created anything like it. The best of those Allah created. The best of those Allah created. One more time. We'll highlight it. The best of those Allah has created. Meaning there is no one better. Yes, he was the guy himself. He's agreeing with himself on this written. Yes, he was the best of those Allah created in knowledge. His knowledge was the best. Muhammad didn't have his knowledge. Pity. Muhammad didn't have his pity. Righteousness. Muhammad didn't have his righteousness. And cleaving to the religion. He cleaved to the religion that supposedly Muhammad brought. Better than Muhammad. He should have been the prophet. Sadiq informed his companions that his son would be among the imams of the Ahlul Bayt. To whom obedience Allah made incumbent on his servants. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Why do you need servants? Why do you need a slave? Supposedly you're God, right? You're Allah. And Allah is supposed to be able to do everything, right? Except have kids, of course. Of course, come on now. You know, he's not almighty. He's just the guy who does everything. But everything doesn't mean you have kids. For kids, he needs a girlfriend. But, you know, that's a whole different subject. Let's put that aside. I mean, that's in the Quran. But anyway, let's put that aside. Okay? Here you are. You are Allah. Allah, the one that says, I say be and it is. And then he has to create Adam with his hands for 40 years. But we don't know. Did he create Adam for 40 years before he said be? Or was it after he said be? Or was it while he was saying be for 40 years, while he was creating him with his hands, that he said the be? We still don't know. I mean, the jury's out on this one. We still don't know, you know. But anyway, regardless of all of that, supposedly he says be and it is. We still don't know why this guy still needs slaves. I mean, we know two reasons for why people have slaves. The Jews had slaves. However, the slaves that the slave would come to somebody who had money, and they would say, I will make a contract with you. You give me a certain amount of money. That will be beneficial for what I need now and the next coming 7 years. Hence, I will be your slave for the next 7 years. My family lives off from what I'm going to give them from the money you gave me. We're all good taken care of. After 7 years, I'm a free man. I go back to whatever I was. There's another type of slavery. The other slavery was the type that Islam has, where you go, you pillage another town, you take the little boys, you have your sexual relations as a pedophile with the little boys, and then when they get older, if they're black, you castrate them. If they're not black, you don't castrate them fully, but then they become your slave. And now this slave of yours does the work that you cannot do. What kind of work? Today, in modern day, they abolished slavery and they hired employees. Your employee gets paid a little bit of money and they do the work that in the past a slave would do. How? You have a factory. Your employee today works in the factory creating whatever it is that you're creating so you can sell it. Back in the day, you didn't have an employee, you had slaves. Your slave went to the factory and created whatever it was that you were creating so that you can sell it. Why does Allah need these slaves? What are they doing for this Allah that Allah supposedly cannot do? Why he needs slaves? The only conclusion is Allah cannot do anything for himself and he needs the slaves to do it for him. So now Allah has incumbent on his slaves that they must follow him. See? Follow him. Who's him? Musa al-Kazim. By Allah, he will be your leader. So Allah wants you to follow Allah, and Allah wants you to follow Musa al-Kazim. So now you're following Allah and you're following Musa al-Kazim. So you have two lords. In the past, when it came to the Jewish religion, people didn't follow the prophets. They listened to the prophets. They did their own thing. You don't believe me? Moses told the people, enter the land of Israel, and they said, no, we are afraid of these giants that live there. They wandered the deserts for 40 years. God said to them, none of you shall go in there. Only their descendants can go in there because you're all punished for not listening to me. Who gave the order? Moses. Moshe. Did they follow him? No. They followed God and they made decisions on their own. Here, it's incumbent upon you. He is going to be your leader. You have to follow him. See? Follow him. It's highlighted for you. Meaning whatever he says, you have to do. You do not have an option like the Jews who said no to Moses. You cannot say no to him. Are you insane? You know what happens if you say no to him? Off with your neck. Musa was born at Al-Abwa. Al-Abwa was a little village outside of Yathrib. Yathrib is the name of the city that the Jews had in Arabia that is now called Medina. Hey, Muslim occupiers in Saudi Arabia, get the hell out of Saudi Arabia. I mean, we're going with your logic. Today, the so-called Arabs who pretend to be Palestinian say this land is occupied by Israel. They have to leave because it's our land. We've been living there for 1,400 years. They forget that the Jew has been living there for the last 3,000 years, but the last 1,400 years is valid for them. Well, in that case, the Jews have been living in Arabia prior to your stupid Muhammad coming and taking a city called Yathrib, changing it to Madinat al-Rasul or Madinat al-Nabi, calling it the town of the Prophet, meaning his town, and you still have it called the same thing today, Medina. You just drop the Nabi part because That would really be awkward for you. And this is a city that's been there from several hundred centuries before this guy ever showed up. Like you go back, old maps, you know, not hundreds, but you go back and back and back and back, you keep seeing that. There was no Mecca, but there was Yathrib. So according to this, get the hell out. You're an occupier. You occupied the Middle East and you don't belong there. All of you go back to Jordan because you all came out of Jordan. All you Arabs came out of Jordan. All of you need to go back to Jordan. Leave Iraq, leave Syria, leave Kuwait, leave UAE, leave Qatar, leave Oman, leave Yemen, leave Saudi Arabia, leave Egypt, Libya, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria. Get the hell out. What are you doing there, occupier? Hey, Candace Owens. Dum-dum. These are the occupiers. You don't know history. And then you say you don't know why Ben Shapiro, he never attacked, he never defended. Didn't you say that the Palestinians live in the Palestinian section of Israel? Wasn't that your words? Isn't your video all over the internet? And Tucker Carlson, the idiot, doesn't understand? Because there's money in it. Money, money, money. Weren't you the same idiot, Candace Owens, that was yelling at others, saying, oh, stop it now. They're just some university students protesting. They're not doing anything wrong. I mean, they kill human beings in California who are Jewish, by the way, in their protest and march. They back university Jewish kids into a library and yell, let us in, so they can come and kill them. They're marching and saying, from the river to the sea, genocide of all non-Muslims. That means the Christian, the Jew, and everybody else. You have to be dead. If they want the whole land. What do you think they did for 1,400 years? They came and gave people flowers? Or they chopped off heads? Candace Owens. And the retards that protect Candace Owens. You got a bunch of black social media people. Officer Tatum, the Hodge twins, a bunch of retards. None of them have ever studied history. None of them know anything other than what is going on with the black community. Outside of the scope of black community, none of them know nothing about anything. None of them have been educated. None of them have a degree. None of them have anything. But they all have a long tongue and they keep talking. Hey, retards, these are your occupiers. They took Yathrib. In their own book, they're telling you, we took Yathrib and we changed the name. We killed all the Jews. We took Al-Abwa right here. We killed all the Jews. And everybody living in there is Arab Muslim. We changed the language. Everybody has to speak Arabic. You go to Egypt today, everyone's Arabic. Palestine, there is no more Palestine. They killed all the Palestinians. Arab Muslim, killed every single Palestinian. They killed the Jew and they killed the Palestinian. And then they sat there. What is their language? Arabic. What is their culture? Arabic. None of them are from Greece, from the island of Crete, to be Palestinian. They're not Phoenician no more. They're all killed. They came to Iran, killing. They forced the Iranians for hundreds of years to speak Arabic. Until today, we have Arabic words in the Persian language, which we fought hard to change the meaning of. so that we don't speak Arabic like the rest of them. We have a tough culture and a tough neck. We stick it out. We don't care if you see our face. Look at my face. We're not afraid. We're not like others who will hide behind the camera and turn off their cameras. They might have a good reason, but we don't care. We show our face to you and stand in your face. All the others, they fell. They're all Arab now. What you talking about, Candace Owens? And now that you're going to lose your job? Oh, I never said nothing. I never did anything. I didn't protect you, but I don't know what you're talking about. Shut your mouth if you don't know. Leave it to the grown-ups. We will talk. Okay? We're from that area. We understand that area. That is our right to talk about. You talk about your Black community, do a good job there, and let us do an excellent job over here. Shut up if you don't know what you're talking about. Back to the program that we have before time runs out. His pure childhood. Okay? Musa made general progress during his childhood. He sucked the breast of faith and was brought up in the lap of Islam. Who is the lap of Islam? Ja'far al-Sadiq. He was sucking the breasts of Ja'far al-Sadiq while he was riding on his lap. You don't believe me? Let me share with you. Let me share. You need to see this. I will wait for you to have it on your screen. And I will see it when you see it. Today, all over Afghanistan, in India, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in parts of Iran, all over 54 Muslim countries, they take a little boys, they put makeup on them, they make them dance and gyrate like women. Little boys we're talking about, you know, they haven't even had puberty yet. And they then sell them like that and have sexual relations with them. Here you go. Take a look for yourself. Hey, Candace Owens, likey? I mean, you sat down with Andrew Tits, known as Andrew Tate, the Muslim pimp who takes women and forces them to be naked on camera so he can make his money. We even got arrested in Romania, the corrupt country. And you flew all the way over there as a Christian woman to go sit with a Muslim pimp so that the Muslim pimp can tell you how Christian men should act with women and how they should be pious. You went to a Muslim pimp to learn from. Don't come and write Christian cryptic texts pretending like you're some pious woman when you sit with a pimp and take him as your guru. He's your spiritual leader, Muslim pimp. This is what they do. Ja'far al-Sadiq, that was his kids. He'd take his kid, suck my breast. Sit on my lap. Let me play with your anus. That was Islamic religion, okay? That's how you share Islamic religion. Islamic religion that's shared from father to son. This is the family of child molesters, bisexuals. That's all they knew. Bisexuality, child molesting, boys and girls from the youngest age, infancy. You teach them to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're running out of time. The rest of this we will cover for you in next week's program. If you like our programs, if you see that we talk like nobody else, maybe Christian Prince, but even further than Christian Prince on some topics because he's not well versed on Persians. So in certain areas, we even outdo him. But the great Christian Prince is probably the only other one, maybe Rob Christian. Other than us, there isn't anyone in the English language that's doing that. If you find what we say useful and beneficial, use your mouse, click and subscribe. If you're going to use your phone, click and subscribe on our page. There is a reason why I ask you guys to do that. YouTube plays a lot of games. I'm going to show you one of their games. Okay? I'm going to show you a game that they played last week. Okay? Let me bring it up for you so you have it. I'll pull this to a side and I'll share it with you. I'm going to show you how YouTube plays a game and why you should subscribe. This is why you should subscribe. Okay? I believe it should come on your screen right about now. Yes, you have it. You have it on your screen. This is yesterday's program. Yesterday's program, once it finished, 52 minutes ago. You see it says here, 52 minutes ago. I received 3 likes. But there's no views. How do you receive 3 likes without any views? I mean, the only way it's possible for someone to like the program, when they see it in their YouTube feed, they have to go and click on that program. The minute they click on a program, it counts as a viewer. Then they have to go and click on the thumb like button. So if I have 3 likes, that means at the very least, I should have 3 viewers. I mean, look, I am viewing the program live myself. There should be at least 4 of us. But here it says no views. Susan watched Kiki. How in the world do I have 3 likes and no views? I caught you red-handed. 52 minutes after. In most programs where they have big subscribers, we only have 100, you see? In most programs where they have thousands of subscribers, only 10% of the viewers actually go and press the like button or dislike button. For smaller channels like mine, which only have 100, that number jumps from 10% to about 1%. That means in order for me to get 3 likes, I should have about 300 to 500 viewers watching that program, and then I should get 3 likes. So at the very least, 52 minutes after yesterday's English program, I can tell you there was about 500 people watching this program. And hence we got 3 likes. Why did we get so many viewers? Because there are people who subscribed and the algorithm pushes this further and more people hear it. Now, if all of you 500 viewers in the English language were to subscribe together, which would take you less than a second, instead of 500 people watching the program every single week, we could get that number to be closer to 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. So let's team up together. I bring you the knowledge. I risk my life on the line because Muslims want to kill me. I get threats from them all the time. All you got to do is press a button. If you press that button, you help us. Not just for one program, but indefinitely. For as long as the channel is running, that programs will help. So until next week, I leave you in the hands of Jesus. Thank you and continue your help. Jesus bless you all.